Commenting on John Mahama's selection of a running mate for the upcoming elections, CDD Boss Professor Prempeh observes that the choice of Professor Naana Opoku Agyemang is expected to prevent internal discord within the NDC and is likely to garner increased support from women voters.
The flag bearer of the NDC has basically done what's in the clip. I think Joshua Alabi of the NDC was saying that this for him is the best selection for this election, right? So basically stay the course. It's a safe choice. It doesn't basically ruffle feathers in the NDC any further. If he departed from his 2020 choice and went for a new face, there would be so much read into it. It would be seen as, basically foreshadowing or presaging the 2028 election in terms of who would be the front runner for the NDC and the like. So I think by staying the course and playing it safe, he basically stops any further disruptive politics within his party. But I think he's also used it, as he did in 2020, as most presidential candidates would use the vice presidential slot, which is to try and fill a gap in their own background to appeal to a constituency that they do not represent very well. So in our politics, it tends to be ethno-regional. We make ethno-regional, we use the vice presidential slot for ethno-regional balancing. In this instance, he gets that. The central region is a very important pathway to victory for the NDC in every election. And so he takes care of that. Also, I think, in terms of the demographic votes, the women's votes, he appeals to that. It would be interesting to see how the statistics stand up in terms of the women's vote in 2020. I don't know that we have any disaggregated statistics showing how the women's vote swung or what additional value that the NDC got from that. But I think that it is not an unusual choice, and it's not, it wasn't unexpected at all.
Meanwhile, the MPP says John Mahama, partnering with Professor Naana Opoku Agyemang, did not catch them off guard, and they anticipate it will not significantly influence the election outcome. We can now listen to the National Communications Director of the party, Richard Agah, making this point on Newsfile.
We knew the NDC was losing this election with the selection of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as their flag bearer. But what sealed it for them was the re-nomination of Professor Naana Opoku Agyemang as the running mate. All it is that they have brought forward the old, the rejected, that which did not prove acceptable to Ghanaians, and so therefore was rejected. And so, energy, that's similarly. Oh, please.
No, hold on. Oh, no, wait.
I didn't invite.
Just may have the opportunity to say the last word.
The point is that they have nothing to offer. The last time they tried it, their vision was roundly rejected. But for me, I like to, in expressing my eternal support for female participation in our politics, to say, yes, it's okay, it's a good idea to bring women along, but it's not sufficient when the emphasis is not on, I want to be very careful here, when the emphasis is not on adding value. Because we know that the former Minister for Education, when she was there, the catastrophe she left was mind-boggling. It was under her that even chalk was hard to come by in this country. It was around when she was minister that it was difficult even to get our kids chalk to write in the classroom. And so all the matters related to the reversal of established education support policies relative to the teacher trainee allowances that were rolled back, I don't see her coming with any vision.
You don't have a vice presidential partner yet, and it is suspected that your vice presidential person will come from people who are already deep in the politics, and they'll be mad.
No, I mean, it's not a question of mud. As for mud, you can, even Jesus, right? Even Muhammad, people found mud on them to throw. So it's not even a question about that. It's about the person's performance and track record.
Okay.
This track record we are talking about exudes no confidence. It's one that was rejected, and so therefore there's nothing to write home about.
But he just told you.
To that.
Let's still stay on women in politics because political economist at GIMPA, Professor Lord Mao Yuga Yevuga, has added his voice to recent calls to allow women take up leadership positions, especially in politics. He underscored the important contributions women have made towards the economic development of the country. Rejoice Semefakpesu has more in this report.
In a global landscape where progress is propelled by actions, an increasing focus is being placed on harnessing the transformative influence of women in steering economic affairs. The Include Her Forum, organized by Shimei Solutions, is one of the great platforms used to share and celebrate the success stories of women across the world and to recognize the invaluable contributions they bring to the table.
We must celebrate any effort at inclusion. If for a long time women who are more than men in terms of our population, if they've not been part of the national decision making, then that's problematic. So if at least now we are making effort at including them at that level, that's good. But we have to broaden the conversation. It's not enough just to give few women some, it's a feminism. You are just giving something to tick a box. We need to have a bigger conversation that how come that in a country where women are more than men, when it comes to decision-making roles, women are not given that, and what can we do? And that goes back to certain practices. So people say patriarchy. So there's a culture, part of the culture where women are assigned to certain roles in society. There are things that men can do and women can do. We need to break those barriers. We need to create an environment that allows both men and women to compete. You see, it's not about doing women a favor, because in most conversations, when we talk about including women, it's about affirmative action. That, oh, let's deliberately give women this and that. It shouldn't be the case that today, if a woman is made a running mate, then there are a lot of fanfare. That should be a natural process. We should have a situation where women can aspire to be president, like the men do.
Media personality Kokui Salome emphasizes that while the call for women's empowerment is crucial, the elevation of individuals should be grounded in merit rather than solely based on gender.
I think there are many examples of women who have made it by dint of hard work. Their credentials speak for themselves. These are highly educated women who have worked hard to get where they are. And when we look in the upper echelon of management in companies and even for business owners in this country, we see phenomenal accomplished women. I'll emphasize elevation based on merit. Let's promote excellence. Let's encourage excellence. There are brilliant women out there. Let's promote that and project that. That inspires other women to aspire to be brilliant. I think quotas are good if those quotas give opportunities to people who have earned them. I don't think quotas should exist just to tick a box or just to say, well, you said we should have 50% women, so we found 50% women to add to 50% of men. That's not enough, because beyond that, how does that better our circumstance? If whichever woman you're bringing in, just because she's a woman, what is she going to add to the table? And then if she doesn't excel or she doesn't succeed, then what happens to the opportunity for the next woman?
Founder of Shimei Solutions and life coach Lady Sam has been sharing the inspiration behind the forum.
Lady Sam is somebody who is passionate about motivating people and pushing them to their potential. So every year when it comes to International Women's Day, I look at the theme and I adapt my conversation. The driving force is I'm a woman who is passionate about other women achieving their goals, and we have International Women's Day. That's a perfect opportunity for us to put ourselves on the map, to make our voices be heard, because there are so many contributions from women from all walks of life, but sometimes their voice is not heard, and this is the perfect opportunity. So I got these wonderful resource women together who agreed, and you heard them today saying wonderful things, giving great insights, and that's what drives me. If I can help in some way or some form to impact people, you know, then I've done my job. And it's about equal opportunities. It's about women having the same opportunities as men so long as they have the same credentials. It's not about being against men, because at the end of the day, we can't do this without men, right? You see, there are some men in the program today. So I don't want to speak for others. For me, I would say I do believe in women's rights, but we can't do it without the men.
Women taking center stage on all